Welcome to the Zaven Rock and Roll interviews. I'm here today with Chung Nian, partner at WongPartnership in Singapore. How are you today, Chung Nian?
Great, John. How are you?
Very good, very good. Let me fire the first question for you. What would you like the future of client-law firm relationship look like?
Well, I think that's an area where there's potential for a lot of development, especially here we're at a tech conference. A lot of the time, clients, of course, the most traditional way of getting instructions is to pick up the phone or to send us an email. But of course, that might work for certain types of, where requirements are not very, very clear at the outset. But there's also a segment of work where, in fact, there's a space for technology to kind of interface, right? Perhaps the future of how law firms might work would be that they would be a little bit more tightly integrated with clients. You might have a specific portal where there's routine kinds of instructions that can be sent, choices can be made by clients so that we can make the process of getting instructions across to counsel a lot more effectively, and then it reduces the back and forth. That's perhaps where technology can play a part. But of course, it's ultimately a very human kind of profession. We do value our client interactions, interpersonal kinds of relationships. And, whilst we talk about all of those kinds of platforms, that's still not going to be a complete substitute for the face-to-face, pick up the phone, talk to the client. But it's about building platforms or building, the ways in which we can better make our communications a little bit more efficient.
Tech, but let's not forget the human.
Certainly.
How do you make sure that with your clients you're a smooth operator?
The legal profession is not just about being a legal advisor, it's also about understanding what your client really needs, right? So and to get to that place, it's really critical that you also have a bit of a personal kind of an understanding as to what it is that's important for the client, right? And you can't get there unless you develop that kind of a personal relationship. So it's about looking beyond just that commercial legal relationship, but it's also about understanding what the organization stands for, what's the ethos, what it is that the client, the counsel even that we're dealing with on a personal level, what moves that person, what's important to that person, how is it that we're going to make his or her life easier, or to help him or her out with dealing with her internal stakeholders as well. I think these are all important aspects of that, what's really critical. And that's why I always believe that, quite apart from the legal work, there's always a necessity to build on that personal relationship, right? Even if it's a short amount of time spent kind of shooting the wind, as it were. But it's important to understand what it is that clients value, right? What are the personal kinds of perspectives that they have on things?
Excellent, excellent, Chung Nian. Very comprehensive answer. When pitching for work, what do you focus on except the money?
I guess, of course, for all law firms, the financials are important. Just as, of course, for clients in engaging law firms, I think to them, they pay a lot of attention to value. So when you say money, I think actually we should be thinking value. Money and value are not necessarily the same. They're kind of in the same ballpark, right? You may be thinking, of course, in terms of, in monetary terms, a dollar value, but of course, from a perspective of a client trying to engage counsel, and you've been in that position before, I'm quite sure you don't look at just the dollar value, but also what value it is that the law firm brings, right? Whether it's in terms of perhaps experience in the field, or perhaps the way in which the counsel you're working with is able to get you to a place where they will work with you in partnership to find a solution. As opposed to, I guess, there are also others who might just say, well, you need a legal memo, right? So I'll just give you a legal memo with a technical answer. But if it doesn't get you to where you need to be, or the lawyers aren't prepared to invest the time and effort to understand what it is that is at the core of your query, I'm not necessarily sure that you get great value out of instructing counsel like that. So I think a lot of the ethos at the firm is really about that, trying to understand the client, trying to give the client the value in terms of going that extra mile, being able to understand what it is that they need and trying to find a solution.
Thanks, Chung Nian. Thanks, Chung Nian, so much for your illuminating comments.
Thanks,
it's been
John.
a great interview. Thanks for being such a good host. And for you guys watching, stay tuned for the next episode of Zaven Rock and Roll Interviews.